has to pay the bill, and we'll talk about that. Time allows, inshallah, a little bit later as well. Not to strike her on the face. Not to hit her on the face. This is haram. This is an absolute sin. You don't hit your wife on the face. It's not allowed. And you do not insult. A lot of the problems which we have between husbands and wives is because of, first, the tongue, and second, the hand. Okay. The Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Al-Muslim man salam al-Muslimun biyadi wa bilisani. Aw bilisani wa biyadi. That a Muslim is one from whom other Muslims are safe and protected by his or her tongue and his or her hand. Now, many people, mashallah, some of our other brothers, they have many hadiths memorized. But when it comes to treating the wife, they forget this applies, and this is for everyone. Many of us, we forget that this applies first to your wife and your children, your parents. Then to other friends and buddies and those other people. I mean, do you think somebody will just come and say, okay, let's fight? No. Who are you more likely to pick up fights with? With your wife or with your husband. That's where the conflict is. Of course, sometimes it's in the masjid and at the city level or between masajid, but mostly it's confined between the home. That's where it starts. So you have to make sure that your husband is protected from your tongue. And many times, the reason why things go to the point of hitting is because of the tongue. So how does it work? Who's stronger, the man or the wife? Physically, that's in most cases. Sometimes it's the opposite way. But in most cases, who's stronger? Physically. The man, right? But who has a sharper tongue in most cases? The sister. So he may use his fists or his hand, unfortunately. But she uses the tongue. Both have an error. And who pays the price? The children. So the man needs to control his hand and his tongue, and the sister needs to control her tongue and her hand. And I put it in that order deliberately. Or to separate from her, except in the house. These are the rights of a wife. These are the rights of a wife. Insulting her is by abusing her or saying words which will hurt her, which will damage her feelings. Those types of words should not be used. Another right of a wife on her husband is good behavior and to live kindly. To live kindly. Unfortunately, there are some societies where to be rough, not to have a smile on your face, and especially you're with your women folk in the home, this is considered a sign of manliness. So, in some cultures, it's like dabakir. Dabakir. That's the motto. And the more dabakir a cat, he's the man. Am I right or wrong? In some cultures, this is the attitude. And in those families which have this type of a culture, or people, brothers who practice this, the wives are not happy. This is a fact. What is the sunnah of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? That when he would come home, Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala anha says, he would smile. This is the Nabi who had more worry about the akhirah and running the government and the Sahaba and waging jihad and spreading the deen and figure of da'wah and everything more than any of us in this room or anybody else other than him. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He comes to the home, he carries not a frown, but a smile. And I'll tell you what Aisha Siddiqa used to say. It will take a little bit of time, but I want you to hear this because I want you as men, but before first the sisters and then the men to hear it. It is beautiful. Allah. Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala anha says, لنا شمس وللآفاق شمس وشمسي خير من شمس السماء. Somebody would like to translate this? Come on. I see some cases here. I would like to translate this. This is easy. We have a sun, and the sky has a sun. And my sun is better than the sun in the sky. فإن الشمس تطلع بعد فجر وشمسي طالع بعد العشاء. The sun in the sky rises in the time of Fajr, and my sun rises after Isha, when he comes to visit me with the sky. How can there be no love in a family like this? Why? The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is fine. So this idea that some people have, to be rough and tough and like this, along with the women folk, this is wrong. So we don't just practice the sunnah of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, wearing the cap and then keeping beard, and in matters of dress using miswak. Alhamdulillah, all those are perfect and beautiful and fine. Don't leave them. Do more, but then also do these things as well. This is also part of the deen as much as the other things are part of the deen. Okay. So she has a right that you treat her kindly. She has this right. Another thing which falls under this right, actually, I'll talk about that a little bit later, but it is related to this. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, who are the best of you? خيركم, the best of you. Allah, there is Abu Bakr, there is Umar, there is Uthman, there is Ali, radiallahu ta'ala anhum. And there is Talha, and there is Zubair, and there is Abu Hurairah, and there is all of these great Sahaba. And the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, خيركم, the best of you. خيركم لأهلكم, are those who are the best to their family. وأنا خيركم لأهلي, and I am the best to my family. Now, do you think that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam over here is boasting? Do you think he is like you or me when he is boasting? Oh, I am so nice to my family. I did this for her and I did this for her. Or the sister says, इतना कुछ किया मानता ही नहीं, बस हरकत ही में बना रहता है, मैं हरकत चपाती बनाती हूँ, करती वो करती, he's like this. You think it's a matter of boasting? No. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam over here is telling you, if you want to be the best to your family, how should you be? Who should you imitate? Who should you emulate? Whose example you should follow? Who's your qudwa? Who's your uswa? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's who you need to be like. Not a proud Punjabi or a stiff-headed Arab. No. That's how you need to be like. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. In everything, you have the best example in the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam to follow. Sometimes, and I'll be honest, and this is mostly with brothers and then to some degree with sisters. Some brothers, because we have a disease of watching Indian movies, or Arab plays, or American movies, and we also have a very even worse disease of badnazari. We don't like to keep our eyes low. When we go to the grocery store, we want to look at everyone who is dressed improperly. We want to look at every pretty face which comes in front of us, on the paper, on the internet, or anywhere else. So there are many brothers. They complain and they say, my wife is not as beautiful, as good looking, as charming as I would like her to be. And some sisters think like this too. He is not as handsome, as good looking. Well, especially, the desis have this, rang itna nikhrawa nahi. Itna saaf nahi, ganduni sa hai.